Hey friends, it's Angel Brantley here with On Purpose with Angel Brantley, and I want to say thank you. If you have landed here to just watch some of my videos, I want to say thank you. If you didn't land here but you're a family or friend that have decided to come and support me, I want to say thank you as well. I do not take it for granted that you have spent your time watching the things that I share here. And so it is my goal and my desire to make sure that I am being very intentional with the things I share. I want you to be able to take these nuggets, but also know that I'm actually living out these things on an everyday basis. Like, this isn't me just trying to sound good. These are things that I'm either working on and that I have worked on, and I believe this is the season where God is kind of releasing me to kind of share that with the world. And so if you happen to land here, He wants me to share these things with you. But if you don't want to hear from me, hear from Him. I promise you, if you apply some of the things that I share here, some things will be for you, sometimes it won't be for you. But if you do apply what is for you, I believe that your life will change. And so we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna take a little sip of my latte because that's just what I feel like doing today. But earlier today, I was having a conversation with a really good friend, and we were talking about a variety of different things. That's just how our conversations typically flow. But we were talking about finances at one point, and I was saying, like, you know, I've read quotes that talked about, like, if you pass up a penny, you're not really thinking about financial wealth, because a penny adds up to $1 eventually. If you get 100 pennies, you can get $1. But there's so many people that walk past pennies throughout the day that we've devalued the value of a penny. And so I was saying we often do that with moments in our lives. I believe that God is showing up for us in penny moments, in what we perceive as insignificant moments, whether that's in our interactions when we're dropping our kids off at school, or when we're at school. We homeschool, and so sometimes my interactions with my kids would potentially be like penny moments, but I can almost devalue those moments because I spend every day with my kids. But I think that you could have penny moments at work or at the mall. The point is, we are passing by these moments that God is revealing Himself, that things that He has been promising showing up in our lives, but because it's not that big thing, you know, if we walk past $1, we're not going to walk past $1. No one's walking past $1. Even if you're a millionaire, if you see $1, you're gonna pick it up. You may pick it up and give it to somebody else, but you will not walk past $1. But how many of us are walking past pennies and not picking it up? That penny has the potential to be $1. How that translates in moments, I think that God is revealing Himself, manifesting promises, and we're seeing prophecy come to life in everyday life. We're looking for big moments, but I think a lot of times those things are happening in small moments. And so whether that's a smile, whether that's a compliment, I believe God is always working our hearts, the grounds of our hearts and in our minds, to receive the manifestations of what He's promised. If you believe that God is promising you to have a good relationship with your spouse, you should be looking for small moments to engage with your spouse and to change the trajectory of your relationship. Whether that's being more playful, whether that's being more intentional about dates or spending time together. Don't look for this big moment that's gonna happen and it's gonna be like, oh, our relationship is better. It is in those small penny moments that you begin to see the manifestation of what God is gonna do overall in the relationship. So if you have a moment, if you're believing God, we're gonna stick on the spouse part. If you're believing God for a good relationship with your spouse, and you want the atmosphere of your relationship to improve, then I need you to pick up those pennies. I need you to pick up those moments where you have an opportunity to give a penny moment or create a penny moment, Or when your spouse is doing little things that you may not even notice because you're waiting for this big change, but they're making slow, small changes. I'm telling you guys, we can honestly be sleeping on these moments because we're waiting for the manifestation of the big thing. But things can change every day if you change something every day. So let your change be penny moments. If you're not used to waking up and saying good morning to your spouse, add that. That's a penny moment. And maybe it'll seem weird at first because it's like you never speak. But what if you make it consistent? What if that changes how your spouse responds? What if it changes the temperature in your relationship? It may seem fake at first because you don't speak, but if you slow down long enough to pick up that opportunity, that penny moment in your relationship, what could that potentially do? What can that potentially produce in your relationship? I promise you guys, when I started doing this, I realized that I was not only changing my relationship with my spouse or with my children, but I was also changing my own, I guess, like demeanor. It wasn't that I didn't want to speak in the morning or I didn't want to, do something nice. I was so preoccupied with like being frustrated with wanting things to be different that I wasn't creating moments or taking advantage of moments, stopping to pick up, this is not a penny, this is a lens to my camera, but just stopping to pick that up and say like, this is an opportunity. This moment can create a moment later. Think about that. How many of these penny moments are you letting pass you by because you're waiting for something big to happen? It's like, oh, I want to go travel. I live in Alabama, guys. I can say, oh, I want to get to Texas. Oh, I want to go to Texas. But if I never start packing and decide I'm going to buy a plane ticket or get in a car and drive to get to Texas, I'm not going to just wake up one morning in Texas. I have to take the proper steps, which are seemingly small moments, like packing. We probably don't look at this like this, but seriously, there are small things that I do have to do to prepare to go somewhere. And in your life, if you want to go somewhere, I need you to start taking advantage of moments. Say it with me. I hear you, take advantage of penny moments. What is it, my friend, that you need to stop and slow down and pick up? We'll say the camera lens or the penny. What can you pick up? Is it at work? Can you speak to someone that you're uncomfortable with, but really that person speaking may be that moment that changes the dynamic of that relationship? You may be like, oh, they seem uptight. But the minute you say, good morning, and they say, good morning back, or they don't respond like that, because that's another thing. If you try one time, you take that one opportunity and they don't respond the same way, then we'll be quick to throw away the next moment. Oh, I'm not picking up that penny again. I'm not doing that, because we don't like rejection. That's another video for another day. But we have to start taking advantage. But what if that one penny moment of speaking to that colleague or person that you're uncomfortable with at your job or at church, whatever, you speak. What if they don't respond the way you expect? Will you look for another moment? The world will not see God, girls. I'm saying girls, but girls and guys. The world will not see God if we don't suck it up and become his hands and his feet, his mouthpiece. And change is going to happen when we start changing in ourselves and when we start creating moments to help the ones around us change. Who can you speak to? Who can you call? Who can you take penny moments with and change the temperature of your relationship? I want you to think about that. I myself have to think about that as well. It's easier in some relationships and much harder in others. But the reality is that penny moments have the power to create big change in relationships. They can also create big change within you. You hear the wordplay? Penny change. I love you, friends. Have an amazing day. Bye. Thanks for watching.